Hey guys, welcome back to The Mind of Brandon, and welcome back to another No Meat Monday. As indicated by the title of this video, veganism is just as bad as animal agriculture. So the inspiration for today's video is a comment that I received on a previous video of mine titled, Why Roaming Millennial Won't Go Vegan. Here is the comment.
Isn't vegetable farming and fruit and nut farming also doing damage? I mean, pest control, chopping down natural habitat, equipment, chewing up billions of baby bunnies, fawns, rats, ground nesting birds, rattlesnakes, tortoises, poisoning waterways. All them trees missing gotta be making global warming. Of course, I'm no scientist. I don't know, I just don't get the argument vegans make as farms will to save the animals shit. The problem is too many fucking people to feed, lol. I mean, all the fossil fuels and phosphate mining for fertilizer, electrical plants, dams, use of water, etc. We're gonna kill shit and ruin shit to eat, to dress, to live. It's annoying as F when you act like you're doing something better than the rest. You're part of the problem. How much energy does it take to turn celery into beef tips versus just eating cattle? I wonder, like, does that burn 4 gallons of gas to pull off versus quarter of a gallon to get real beef?
Yes. It takes 4 gallons of gas. No, of course not. Jesus Christ. All right, so that was not entirely coherent, but I believe the point he's trying to make is that plant agriculture is going to be just as harmful to the animals and the environment as animal agriculture, which is bullshit. I mean, yes, the way that we presently do it with like pesticides and, machines operating on fossil fuels, etc. Yes, there's some semblance of harm being done onto animals and the environment. Nowhere near on the level as nowhere near on the level like we see with animal agriculture. That being said, I mean, like the way the system is at the present time, it's not a vegan system. Okay, you could think of there being like this ideal vegan world order that we're trying to work toward, and we're not there yet. So, going off of the way the system is at the present time, that's it doesn't really work. I mean, don't get me wrong, vegans recognize that no matter what we do, we're gonna be accidentally killing animals every now and then. You can step out your front door and accidentally stomp on a bug. Okay, this is something I've done before. I stepped out of my shower once, and there was this crunch underneath my foot as it hit the bathroom rug. I flip up the bathroom rug, and there's this crushed beetle underneath it. Beetle's just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Fuck, man! Just step right onto the motherfucker, just exiting the fucking shower. So, just as a reminder to you, in case you've missed this in previous videos, okay? What are we talking about when we're talking about being vegan? Well, it's a word that's going to be subject to interpretation. A big part of why that is because the definition has actually changed a whole bunch of times since the word was first invented at the founding of the Vegan Society. Okay, originally it referred to a strictly plant-based diet, no animal products, or in other words, it had nothing to do with saving the animals. It was just supposed to be a healthy diet. You could still buy a leather purse or wool or fur or whatever. You could do that and still be considered vegan as long as you were on this strictly plant-based diet. Nowadays, though, you go on the Vegan Society's website, there's a definition that shows influence from animal rights activists. The Vegan Society has been hijacked by animal rights activists, okay? I don't mean that in a negative way, I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation, okay? So basically the current definition is something along the lines of you're minimizing on the use of animal products as far as is possible and practicable. Minimizing on the harm that's done onto animals as far as is possible and practicable. Okay, so we recognize there's circumstances where it's just not possible to avoid harming animals. Accidents happen. There's situations of, we have to consider practicality, basically, okay? So it's not like it's something where we're saying we must never, ever, under any circumstance, harm an animal. God damn it! Right? No, we understand there's circumstances where it's just unavoidable and maybe even practical, maybe. That being said, we can't really get rid of plant agriculture. We kind of need crops. We don't need animal agriculture. We can swap out the burgers made out of dead cow. We can swap that out for vegan burgers. We can swap out our hot dogs for vegan hot dogs. We can swap out chicken for vegan chicken, etc. Pick an animal product. You can swap it out for a vegan alternative that is made to taste like that animal product. Even if you have like a food allergy to some of the stuff that these vegan products are typically made out of, we can still grow animal meat in a lab. You look up super meat. That's what that is. It's they're basically growing chicken flesh from stem cells taken from a chicken. Okay, chicken gets to survive. Doesn't really have doesn't go through a long torturous process or anything like that. Just take a little stem cell sample and they use that to grow chicken flesh. Okay, chicken meat. So yeah. No need for animal agriculture, okay? If we get rid of it, then we'll be getting rid of all sorts of needless enslavement, rape, torture, and slaughter of innocent animals, okay? Emphasis on needless. It's unnecessary. There's literally no good fucking reason to do it, okay? Raising crops, we kind of got to do that. Animal agriculture, no good fucking reason to do it. Again, the way that plant agriculture is presently happening, yes, pesticides are often used. Yes, there might be animals being driven out of their environment, killed, whatever. We might see people using stuff that burns ozone depleting fossil fuels. Okay. Again, that's not what vegans are advocating for. We want to do away with pesticides, do away with burning ozone depleting fossil fuels. Okay, I mean, it's like virtually anything that we're going to use fossil fuels or petroleum for, virtually all of that can be replaced with stuff that literally grows on trees. And you're gonna have like hemp oil, hemp biomass fuel. There's all sorts of different kinds of plant oils, right? Not that we need to rely specifically on plants for alternative renewable resources. There's also solar power and geothermal, wind, wave, etc. Right? That being said, you got to factor in what is it that we're even feeding these animals, right? We're feeding them vegetation a lot of the time, okay? That they're eating a whole lot of vegetation. So it requires even more, even higher production of, plant agriculture to sustain the animal agriculture.
You should preach more about the reasons to stop fucking and breeding more humans and stop using any life-saving drugs or surgeries than what people eat. We need population control. Perhaps why not preach on that?
Well, I've technically already dabbled with that subject in previous videos. I mean, I definitely plan on going further in the future. But yeah, I'm interested in solving the world's problems. A big part of this channel is, just kind of pointing out, here's what's wrong with how we're doing things now. Here's how we can do things instead.
Do your thing in peace and let others enjoy their fucking Christmas ham.
Okay, seriously, Christmas time comes along, big old chunk of ham comes out. That ham is going to be there whether you show up to the party or not. Dude, enjoy your fucking ham. If you're throwing your own party, then get a vegan ham. But if you're going to someone else's party and they don't have that, just enjoy what they got, okay? Remember, veganism's not about dogmatically never having, animal products under any circumstance whatsoever. God damn it! No. You're minimizing on the use of animal products as far as is possible and practicable. Is it practicable to not show up to the Christmas party and be the family recluse because you're vegan? No. No, it's not.
You're as guilty for poisoning and killing Mother Earth and her creatures as anyone. Get over yourself so far as this shit, man.
Dude, it seems like you're getting defensive. Like you think I'm judging you for not being vegan. I am not judging you for not being vegan. I don't think of myself as morally superior to you or anything like that. I think that, you know, morality is arbitrary, subjective nonsense. I've talked about that in several different videos now. I don't need a code of ethics or some kind of moral standard or whatever. I don't need it. I recognize that non-vegans just simply don't know any better. They're used to living in a non-vegan world, having a non-vegan lifestyle. You know, so when I hear their arguments, when vegans in general hear non-vegan arguments, typically we're going to think, oh yeah, I would have said that once upon a time, but now I know better. Okay, so like once upon a time I would have said, oh, well, we're all omnivores. Or, you know, vegans are going to have vitamin deficiencies. Or, you know, the vegan mock meats, oh, those aren't any good. You know, because I tried a garden burger once and it was kind of dry. Is that intellectually honest? No, it's not. What would be honest is trying actual mock meats. You know, a garden burger doesn't really count. It's not intended to even taste like a dead cow burger. Okay, there are actual, you know, there are vegan mock meats that are intended to taste like the animal products that people know and love. Okay, so you're gonna try those ones if you're being honest about this. Okay, and of course they're being fortified with the nutrients that we don't typically get in raw vegetation. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're vegan, it's good to like take certain kinds of supplements like B12, D3. I mean, it's good to take those whether you're vegan or not. I mean, B12 is something that most people are not getting enough of, even if they're not vegan. So there's that situation. But you know, are we omnivores? Like we're capable of having an omnivorous diet, but we like human beings, when we digest animal meat, it does stuff to us that it doesn't do to you know, the omnivores in the wild. Okay, we get hardening of the arteries, you know, atherosclerosis, heart disease, that sort of thing. We get all these negative side effects that animals in the wild don't get. You know, animals that's part of their diet is they consume meat, is because they're actually adapted for that. We're not. Okay, we can break down the meat, we can digest it, but it has negative side effects that actual omnivores don't get.
This is a real carnivore. A carnivore that sees roadkill and gets hungry. So if you really think you're a meat eater, are you salivating right now? Are you hungry seeing this dead bunny on the side of the road? Free food. Who doesn't like free food? I know I like free food, but I don't like that free food because it's not appetizing to me because I'm not a meat eater.
So this isn't about me being better than you. What this is about is, you know, hey, you know, animal agriculture is harming animals, it's harming the planet, and it's not even fucking necessary. We don't need to do it. We should stop.
I don't want to hear no crybaby hippie organic shit either. Blah blah, cry me a river, that is great for people that can afford it, but ain't gonna feed the mass of humans.
Well, that wasn't completely coherent, but if I understand you correctly, you are saying that we don't have the ability to produce enough vegetation to feed everyone that's hungry, which, you know, leaves me kind of thinking, well, wait a second. I mean, we seem to be producing enough vegetation to feed the shitloads of cattle that we don't fucking need, right? What if we stopped breeding all these fucking cattle that we don't need and gave their food to someone else?
What about hunting? Do you see that as an ethical way to harvest meat at least? Not that everyone can do it, but for those who can. Or is it cruel as well in your view? No big farm slaughter abuse there.
I actually just talked about my perspectives on hunting in a video I uploaded last week. I'll go ahead and show a clip of that. I do not hunt, I do not fish. Not that I never would under any circumstance. If I'm like stranded in the wilderness or something, I'll do what I need to do to survive, just like the other animals are doing. You know, that they're killing each other. It's It's kind of what they got to do to survive. So yeah, I'm not against like people like having a basic, fundamental knowledge of how to hunt and gather, how to fish, that sort of thing. I think those are good survival skills to have. I'd be fine with parents teaching their kids how to do that, or schools teaching that on like an elementary education level or whatever. It's good for people to know how to do it. When I do my vegan videos talking about how unnecessary it is for us to enslave, rape, torture, and slaughter innocent beings for their meat, their egg, their milk, their leather, their fur, their wool, etc., that's kind of within the context of thought of, well, we're in a developed civilization. If we're working class people that have like money and we have access to grocery stores with mock meats, etc., right? Then it just seems unnecessary to harm animals in those situations, or to contribute to harming them by paying for meat and egg, etc., right? But at the same time, there's different contexts to consider here. So while if you're living in the city and you have access to all sorts of alternatives, it makes sense to go with the alternatives. If you're stranded out in the wilderness and you don't have the alternatives, then just do what you need to do to survive. Alright, that's it for that video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other people. If you're interested in watching my future videos, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all in the next one. So have a good one, and peace.